Hi everyone, you have found what to play next. Springer can get us awesome in gaming. So this is Vampire the Masquerade Shadows of New York. If you're not familiar with what to play next, or myself, I am from New York. I am a New Yorker. I absolutely love it. I love the city. I helped launch Bethesda Softworks when I was between 12 and 14. One of my friends was living outside of New York, and she worked for a network, etc. So we helped get the word out. Or didn't work for her, dad worked for her. Welcome to my castle. Don't expect everyday logic to work here. It went out the window. It went out of the window. These people know grammar. Sometime after midnight, maybe earlier. My kingdom is not of this world, you see. I can tell by your English. It lies far outside a concrete, tangible reality. I love when we get this meta. It's like, forget all you know or think you know. I've tried to identify the way people reach it. I'm convinced it has something to do with the moon. Pluto is our moon. The English have the dark side of the moon. As far as we're concerned, they have the whole moon. So I adopted Pluto. We here, us. Some say the moon's aura can turn them insane. You've heard the phrases moonstruck and lunatic. The way I see it, moonlight gives them subliminal permission to reveal their true selves. That is an interesting theory. Whenever they let the silver radiance guide them to the gates of this place, they feel different. Once they pass the doorstep, they're ready to act out. Dance of horrors and marvels begins. I mean, you're here. It's 3:31 a.m. We're at the Big Beat Burger. If you're here at this hour, you're not exactly readying up to be a productive member of society come tomorrow morning. Most likely you're praying that sunrise never comes. Senor, I doubt immediately that you have been to New York City. I've caught red eyes out of Chinatown, or walking through Chinatown, and gone to joints that stay open all night. Insatiable children of the night gather around, hoping to bask in the afterglow of tonight's victories, unwind after a frustrating series of failures, or simply fight to keep themselves together, all while working in the morning. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here greedily reveling in every interaction they have. They have no idea they're only here for my amusement. To them, I'm just a random girl sitting in the corner. This is my domain. I've been coming here almost every night for years. I know where to sit, where to look, and where to eavesdrop for maximum amusement. Basically a voyeur. I also make radical claims like that. And unashamed to admit it. It gave me insight about the human condition I'd never otherwise have gathered. You know, generally you go to a coffee shop, get inspiration for your art. But who am I? And more importantly, a necessary skill set to make ends meet as a journalist. They actually recommend that for ethnography, which is a science. As I write on my crappy old laptop, patiently waiting for a legion of negative voices in my head to get too tired to offer useless feedback, keep my senses peeled to pick up stories around me. You don't have to hate yourself to write, friend. Of course, if you're a vampire, who knows? Of course, a lot of regular events such as food fights are nothing to write home about, aside from my unfortunate tendency to become collateral damage in someone else's battles. Up to this day, I've had to wash my clothes because of Coke, Diet Coke, hot coffee, apple pie, and sometimes some sort of improvised honey mustard bomb. Every scene tells a different story. Sometimes this hobby is exhausting, sometimes it's disturbing, sometimes it's dangerous. Not as risky as back when I wasn't carrying pepper spray. Still, the slugs I've taken over the years here have made it absolutely worth it. I've got so many stories, I don't know where to begin. Theatrical breakups, impromptu morning parties, unexpected friendships forged in the fire of senseless battle. Lady in a gorgeous Givenchy dress ordering a box of takeout chicken nuggets and hanging cash with her hands completely covered in blood. She was asked if she wants a napkin. Said no. Two thirsty macho dudes shamelessly going for it in the corner. Hush and moaning filling the lobby while everyone around valiantly fights to act as though it's usual and maintain an illusion of normalcy. That'll generally get you escorted out. Straight up kung fu fight between a diminutive cashier and some drugged bodybuilder going through a psychotic episode trying to break all the windows. Big guy left the joint fully convinced he'd KO'd himself while the service worker was just standing next to him. Seemed proud of his victory, too. Middle-aged hag getting a heart attack after screaming her lungs out, not to let Muslims near her food just because she saw a white girl wearing a hat hairnet behind the counter. A masked couple robbing the restaurant of 30 hamburgers, forcing the employees to cook at gunpoint. Police later said they were art students reenacting some hipster book they read. This is life. This is humanity at its worst and best. It's the noise that serves as the foundation for my creativity and the soma that keeps me going. Sigh. As pathetic as it may sound these days, this is the only place where I feel alive. unbearable. It used to be I dreamt of nothing else but being part of the New York Lodestar editorial team. It's the first magazine I started reading regularly and the first magazine I ever bought for myself. Simply hearing the word Lodestar is enough to ruin my mood, never mind seeing all those farts phoning in more reactionary opinion columns and Wikipedia-level analyses of current events. Investigative journalism did die. It was meant to facilitate using newspapers and magazines as a watchdog. Unfortunately, politics went sensational because they couldn't actually get voters to engage with politicians after voting them into office, which is how a republic works. Committed the sin of allowing the cells to grow older, fresh blood was deemed unnecessary, even though young freelancers kept being bled dry. It's interesting. So people who like it actually bring in ideas. Readership is in free fall. Ship is sinking. Old guard won't let it down without a fight. As it stands, the only full-time staff member who doesn't make me regularly attempt to cringe my face off with their writing is Brian. What's up, Brian? Brianing. He puts the pickle right in the middle. Dropping the sea of needs. Managerial duties hit him hard. He said his piece. It's up to me to react. What do you want me to say, Brian? I'm pissed off, but I can tell you you've already made up your mind. Still want to go through the motions just to make me feel listened to. Brian, this guy is guilty major fraud. He's a sexual harasser. You're protecting a complete POS. My article isn't even something like lashing out at the rich and hoping they don't hit back. I think Double Spiral's investors would appreciate being told they're being scammed. That's if, and it's a big if, they're not a conscious part of the scam. Come on. Even if they weren't, I doubt they'd be generous enough to protect us from the fallout. You're avoiding the core of the issue. I believe I've pinpointed it in a precise way. If it were up to me, I'd greenlight the article here and now, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you're killing the article because some rich, bad word, said that you had to. Get real. It's not about some millionaire jerk calling me to make an offer I can't refuse. What's it about? My boss telling me his outfit can't afford legal action we've already been threatened with. So the millionaire interface. But for crying out loud, Julia, don't make me treat you like a child. I'm actually on his side. It's glorious that we have this great liberal push to make everyone appear equal. But unfortunately, they're going to starve us to death if they continue with their BS about not needing degrees and the real world being wrong and therefore not existing. So she'd better be a vampire. She could just go suck some blood off the streets and keep going. I feel like my world has crumbled into nothing. I don't. I wish that you would stop doing what you were doing about 5 minutes ago. But, Jesus, if I was you, I would have broken down into a sobbing mess. I'd love to go down on the subway. Too proud to cry in public. What now? I keep feeling like there's something out there destroying everything I hold dear just to see my reaction. At a sheer spite, I'm doing my best not to cry. That's the most Julia Sawinski thing I've heard. Spite is a great motivator. Not feeling particularly motivated right now. I just want to stay in bed until they evict me. Whatever life decided to screw you over. Let's recap. June 2019. Got kicked out of my job. Not that I've been hired, but my mentor broke all his promises. All the work for the past year down the toilet. All my side gigs were shut down. Nobody's replying to my emails. Somebody's dragging my name through the mud. Still have no idea who's sending these messages around. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to sit by and watch you get canceled by some mean-spirited delusional. I have 3 unread messages from my landlord. The message previews were stressful enough. A call came from Chicago. Dad has cancer. Mom's in hysteric. She calls every day. She won't hang up before she offloads all her burdens, and I can't blame her. We all had to learn how to cope with Dad's psychopathic tendencies. How? I was robbed. My documents and what little money I had gone. Don't even know when or where it happened. I'm always extremely wary of pickpockets. The list goes on. Really feels like a concerted attack. Paranoia is good. Anyway, I know you always hand-wave this topic away. Just remember, if anything happens, my place is your place. You don't have to get through it alone. You've been a trouble magnet and self-centered. Honey, you're in the city. You're going to her house. I have another call. Just call me if anything happens. I will see you later. Exhale and stare blankly. Glance at my reflection. Look like a child cosplaying, dressed for the job you want. It's only after a while I realize the car is empty, unnaturally so. There's the first vampire. It's the last thing I consciously register. The world dissolves. When I come back, I'm out of the subway, standing in a back alley I don't recognize. It's dark, my eyes are adjusting. I try to figure out what happened. There's a gun in my hand, a silhouette at my feet. And somebody stands in front of me, covered in shadows. She's staring at me, visibly intent. Her voice is raspy and androgynous. Aren't you a nasty one? What's going on? Don't play coy. My mind goes blank. There's a body riddled with bullet holes. Corpse is Mike Antoff, one of the double spiral whistleblowers, my source. He was just threatening to get back at me a few hours ago. They think I'm guilty. Am I guilty? How is this real? What happened to him? This guy, don't play coy. You knew him. He was mad at you. You started telling him sob stories. He wasn't having any of it. You got mad. He died. That isn't true. It's plausible. That doesn't make it true. This is a nightmare. So the vampire takes control of her. She kills somebody. What have you done to me? Nothing yet. I'll do what I can to get you locked up for life. Interesting. So they go in and they take control of people and clean up. That actually makes a lot of sense given the skill set for vampires. If I did murder him, you wouldn't be like that. You'd be calling the police. Oh, you are a psycho. I'm not a coward. I won't let you walk out of here alive. This doesn't make any sense. Why are you doing this? Sometimes one has to confront what they're really made of. She's gotta be nuts. She starts walking towards me. Stop or I'll shoot. Go on. It's the only way you can get off the hook, isn't it? Only way you can survive. You definitely prove you're the monster I claim you are. What is this tone? Controlling and authentic. I'm serious. For your own sake, you better be. She keeps getting closer. Maybe I did kill Antoff. Why do people have that particular crisis? Maybe insane reality needs to be rejected as violently as possible. She's right in front of me. It's now or never. Close my eyes and squeeze the trigger. I'm afraid to look at what I've done. Been in a shooting range once, felt horrified by pistols. You were a right choice after all. So they picked me to go ahead and join the vampires instead of, dying. Feel something sharp sliding in my neck. It's not too painful, just startling. Hits me, pure bliss. The dopamine receptor that I've considered completely fried until now suddenly recover and start bombarding me with pleasure I've never known. I finally let the tears go, they come flooding. They've been waiting for years, it's such a relief. Is it raining? I feel like I'm in the middle of deluge, least, washing away all my fears, all my sorrows, my anger, my pain, my ego. Become one with the world and the woman behind me. She's holding me tight, making me feel like the only important thing in the world. Everything else blurs. Feel something intense, something I've never felt before. Is this love? I hope so. This is not you. This is the familiar, cynical voice at the back of my head. It's okay. I've never felt particularly fond of me either. New York, you're perfect. Please don't change a thing. He who laughs in the shadows always has the last laugh. When everything is cliche, nothing is. Isn't that ever the distant utopia I've been chasing? People on other trains. I hope you're doing fine. Finally understand. She's giving birth to me. She's burying me. Pretty sure I've been dead for a while. I'm pretty sure I could stare at my own corpse in her hand from a distance, for a moment somehow. Then I'm alive again. She lifts her mouth from my neck. Taste blood in my mouth. Was I drinking her blood too? I realize whatever this is, it's over, and I have to bask in the afterglow while I still can. I also immediately understand I'm going to chase this fleeting feeling for the rest of my existence. She lets out a whisper. No matter what happens next, don't forget, you're a monster. You're lucky to be born in a world of monsters. Remember more than that fact, embrace it. So I achieved. I actually made it. You have to make it through the prelude, apparently, to be accepted in there. Once again, I'm a big beat burger. Faces I recognize. Still, I process the entire thing differently. Ugh. It's the same with cigarettes. I don't need them anymore. Why do I keep holding them? I'm a vampire. 2 nights ago, I met Karen. She embraced me, turned me into kindred, calls herself sire, and her my child. Taught me the basics of survival, drinking blood, manipulating, human bending, steel. So you're not going to RPG this the way that you do Swan Song, but if you are into dinosaur novels, pulp, or bad French and Russian literature, then this is probably the game for you. So you're going to explore the world of vampires in a novella style where you simply make choices, and it looks like you can fail. common New York misunderstanding is that you're going to get help from the police. That's not the case. The judicial system is there to allow you to cope with the inevitability of crime. It's not there to get you justice. It doesn't happen that way. So, retributive justice. Me at bullying his unfortunate victim. I probably shouldn't interfere. That's what I've become. Dance macabre. Time to swing a little more on the devil's dance before the club beckons. Swipe. The risk of swiping right is Tinder and I cannot speak today. This Tinder addict smells like a bit of a loser, wannabe intellectual, and a perfect source of nourishment. So we can go to the club, and it reeks of death. Been here a few times, never anything is breathtaking. They're whacked and they keep dancing madly. And then you just gradually explore the environment that started with Vampire the Masquerade, I believe it was. We do have, I want to say it was they did another version in the 90s. I think it was the 90s, and we do have that on our channel. That was a really good game. I do prefer RPG because I like to get a little bit more into it than just the story. Link is in the description below, though. This is regularly nothing bucks on Steam. I think I got it for like $2. Also down there is Gamer Grind. Gamer Coffee shipped to your door. Coffee is down there. KOFI, buy this chick a coffee, $1, make me smile. We're on Patreon, so you can support us on Patreon. Most of all, hit subscribe. So if you hit subscribe and you hit a bell, you'll get a little thumbnail, and that'll appear daily to let you know what it is that we're covering. And it'll, let you just take a look into gaming, see how it's developing. I was hoping that they'd put a little bit more into storyline. The possibility of failure is one. They've been trying to explore those novellas, not always, positively. Sometimes it doesn't always pull through the right way, so I think they did that right. So one win there. It's a little bit windy, which was an odd twist. She still gets to wear a cross. Stuff like that is interesting, and you aren't able to explore it. So not being able to click on the pictures, I was hoping that level of interactivity would be brought up, like a pop-up book, and they did miss there. But anyways, if you hit the subscribe and the bell, you'll kind of explore gaming with us. We tend to, if you don't already know, let you know what sort of games you're into just by describing, the functionality. We've been in gaming for literally ever. So it's kind of a fun ride. Hit us up there. We love hearing from you guys, so, social media, etc. But if you're a lurker, just smash the subscribe and the bell. We love you guys. We love that you're always along for the ride. And we will see you in the next video.